Call regular city council meeting, Monday, September 23rd, 2013 to order. Clerk, call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Sapienza. Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Any presentation? No.
No, Your Honor.
Public comment? No.
Not at this time, Your
Do
Honor.
we have a motion to receive and approve the regular meeting minutes of September 18th, 2013, placed on file?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Waldorf, to receive and approve the regular meeting minutes of September 18th, 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the city clerk's report for August 2013, sales, home rule, and telecommunication tax receipt for June 2013, and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We'll move to committees. Accounts and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor, I present the total disbursements for September 25th of the year 2013. The disbursements total $2,286,616.69. I'll make a motion this be received, placed on file, and the city pay the bills in the usual manner.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to receive the disbursements for September 21st, 2013, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I just have a couple of questions. On page 9, under Street Department, bottom page, there's $650 to Chandlins for the King's Inn, and I've seen a couple of those over the past few months. What would that be for?
I don't know the specific on it. It's for what we're doing up at the King's Inn. I'd have to pull the bills out. I don't know exactly what that is.
Okay.
I believe those are setting up specifications for the demolition.
Yeah, that. We've been working with the environmental companies. We've been working with demolition companies, and we'll be going out for bids again shortly, and that's some of the charges that are coming in.
Okay. Page 12, under Cemetery, Cemetery Department, second line item from the bottom, there's $600 for reimbursement for a car fire. What was that for?
That's I'd have to pull the file and I can email you the details, but that's a situation, Chief King might have a better memory of it, where somebody was charged and paid for a fire call.
Oh, yeah, that was whenever we have somebody that's from out of town, we bill them, no matter whether they're not paying taxes to the City of Peru. I've sent a bill to this lady, because what I found out was the information I got, her daughter was driving the car, which is from Princeton, but the lady who owns the car is from Peru, so I had to reimburse her. It was a taxpayer, so she got her money back.
Okay. Yeah, that was under the Cemetery Department, so it kind of threw me off on.
Yeah, I don't know why it's there. It shouldn't be there.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
The only thing I would ask Alderman Perez is why don't you ask about some of these so that, we're not being hit with something that we don't have this in our back pocket. We don't know exactly what these charges are.
Well, I just got this on Friday, so I actually review it Sunday,
Okay.
and so I asked Monday meeting.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Motion approved.
One more item, Your Honor. The council has received the final proposal for the FOP contract. That contract will go to the FOP for ratification. If any council members have questions about the contract, I encourage you to contact Human Resources and to ask those questions. We will be bringing that up for a vote we anticipate in the next few weeks. That's all I had.
Okay, we'll move to Public Works. Alderman Waldorf, Alderman Lukosius.
We have no report at this time, Your Honor.
Public Health and Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Sapienza.
Your Honor, I have the fire report for the pay period ending September 14th from Prue Fire Department. They received and responded to a total of 14 fire calls for this pay period. They also had one training session in this pay period. Total payroll for the period ending September 14th is $4,358.04. I'd like to make a motion to receive this and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive the Prue Fire Department report for period ending September 14th, 2013, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your Honor, I also have the Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service report. They responded to 277 patient calls during the month of August. They also had total mileage logged of 9,007 miles for the month. I'd also like to make a motion to receive and place on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive the Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service monthly report for August 2013, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your Honor, we have the Prue Police Department monthly report for August 2013. I'd like everybody to, last page it says, thank you for your generous donation and support, Operation Promise. I'll make a motion to accept this report and place it on file.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Sapienza to receive the Prue Police Department monthly report for August 2013, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your Honor, we also have the City of Prue Safety Committee meeting report from September 4th, 2013. I'll make a motion to accept this report and place it on file.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Sapienza to receive the Safety Committee minutes of September 4th, 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
What I'd like to do now, Your Honor, is the police department purchased a new computer system, and I'd like to turn it over to Chief Burnaby. And before I do that, I'd like to invite all the aldermen and clerk and to stop over and look at this system. It's really a neat new system. I think we're maybe only one of three in the state, if that have this. I'll turn it over to Chief Burnaby. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to give a little brief report, and I promise it will be brief even for my standards, but I'll keep it brief. I'll keep it at a couple of minutes, actually will, because I couldn't do justice to a report without probably spending a good hour, and if you were at the office, I think you'd want to stay an hour and see all the bells and whistles. It's pretty interesting stuff. It's not so much equipment. We haven't bought any new equipment, really. We bought some new software. And since last Thursday, I'm real excited about it and proud, actually, because the City of Prue is probably certainly is the only dispatch center in north central Illinois, whether it's city, county, or state, one of the very few in the state of Illinois, and part of a group across the country that is now doing something as of last Thursday called silent dispatch. Before I explain exactly what silent dispatch is, especially for some of the newer council members, I'm going to go back real quick. 2007, and the police department didn't buy this, Alderman. Actually, the ETSB has been funding this all along as part of a multi-year program for us. Back in 2007, our 911 board purchased a GIS mapping system. You know, we all have GIS in our telephones, and you can go to Google Earth, and in your phone you can follow around maps and that sort of thing. But what our 911 board did back in 2007 is they bought this software for us, and they put it and linked it into our 911 system. So when somebody called 911, the dispatcher answered the phone. There was a map in front of the dispatcher, and it would put a dot on the map and say it's coming from Joe Blow's house, or it's a cellular call and it's within 50 feet of this dot and it's in the parking lot of the mall, or whatever the case might be. It would tell the dispatcher, in addition to enhanced 911, the name and address, it now gives a map. So that was wonderful, and she could look at that map and have additional information and verbally put the call out, and verbally put out information if we were responding to a burglary, you know, how big the building is, because it's all aerial maps that are provided. And that's been working really well since 2007. And again, the 911 board did that. 911 board also helped with our drug fund, and we purchased mobile data computers for all of our squad cars. We bought some for the fire trucks. The ambulances have them. The main fire engine and the aerial have it. The fire chiefs have it. And all of our patrol vehicles have these computers where we can do our national checks and that sort of thing. We also bought the mapping program and put them in all these vehicles, which is a nice feature, but in real time, the dispatcher all these years gets the 911 call and it goes on the map. She would then dispatch the call over the last several years, and an officer would have to pull to the side of the road if he needed the mapping information and type the address in, and it would bring it up on his computer screen, and now he's viewing a screen similar to a Google map. So over the last few years, that technology has been evolving. We've been adding layers to our map. We have a list of, the fire department has fire hydrants in their map, so on the way to a fire, they can pull that map up and know what hydrants are there in an emergency, you know, to tag a hydrant and put the fire out. We have, when the phone rings, it comes up, tells the dispatchers, you know, such things as people that have special needs. We have a registration program where anybody can call us confidentially. We'll put in the address. You know, John lives there. He's disabled. He lives in the northwest bedroom on the second floor. You know, he's bedridden. So, God forbid there's a fire, the dispatcher can read that, tell the fireman on the way, hey, you need to make a rescue, that sort of thing. So we've built layers like that. We've built layers with, you know, certain criminal things that have been helpful for police, and that's been very, very good. This past summer, we took the next step in this process, and this wasn't really earth-shattering technology, but it was big for us. We, through 911 again, purchased something called AVL. It's called Automatic Vehicle Locator. So we've had this mapping for all the years where the dispatcher can see it. Since over the last couple of months and this summer, we bought this AVL where the dispatcher now sitting down in the police station, or me at my desk, or any computer in the police department, or any squad car can look at a map of Peru and see where every police car currently is at that very specific second. And that proved very, very good. The big brother effect with the officers, we overcame that, and it's a helpful tool, and the real tool was for the dispatcher to get a 911 call and not have to guess or ask 3 or 4 people, where are you? We have a call at a particular location. So the telecommunicator gets the 911 call now, and it pops up on the map of where the call is, or she gets a call from some other source, and she just types it into our computer system, and it pops up on this GIS map. And she goes, okay, we have keys locked in a car up at Walmart, or we have an accident down at 251 or Route 6. It doesn't really matter what the call is. She looks up and she goes, okay, there's a green squad car there. That's Officer so-and-so, and he's up by Plank Road. And this officer's over at Shooting Park in 251, and this officer's over by the Igloo. I'm going to send the closest car. I don't have to ask anybody. That's the closest car in green, meaning available, and she sends him. So it's just a great tool, the AVL part, and that's nothing, it's great, but it's not what led us to something that came into place last Thursday. When we did the AVL, and locally there's only 2 communities that have gone as far as the AVL. That's us and the city of Ottawa have AVL. And during our discussions with our mapping company, I said someday I'm going to find the money, or I'm going to get somebody to come up with the money to get us to link our records, our CAD dispatch system with our computer-aided dispatch. When our records come in via 911 and we create the screen, I want to link those someday to the computers out in the car so they can see these things in real time. And I said that's going to be cost prohibitive probably for a long time. Hopefully technology comes down. I said, you do it with the big companies now, the big CAD companies, and they said yes, and it's very, very, very expensive. I said, well, just for the heck of it, can you talk to my CAD vendor? And we did a conference call. And I'm being totally serious here. It was 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. We did a conference call. And I've been with this records guy and CAD company since 1999. I had that records company, and I said, here's what we're doing with this automatic vehicle locator, and here's what we're doing with our CAD system. I'd like to see if there's any way you guys could link up and talk to each other about when we have a CAD, a computer-aided dispatch, and a 911 call, that the dispatcher not only sees these things in real times, but out in the squad car, everybody in the squad car can see things in real time. And an hour later, a lot of the software was written and sent to the company to this company in Indiana, and probably over the next couple of weeks, and I don't know how many man hours they had, 5, 6 hours, they gave us, and we're the first, that we have something now, the technology called silent dispatching. And that conversation with the guy did in 45 minutes or an hour, our mapping company says that was at least a $30,000 item with any of the other companies. He says, I've never seen anything like this. And he says, I guess sometimes the bigger people get, the more they feel like they have to charge, and we deal with somebody that only has 130 police customers in the state. In any event, so since last Thursday, we're doing this new thing called silent dispatching. And we handle over 20,000 calls a year for service out of our dispatch center, over 20,000. About 10% of those are emergency calls. None of the emergency calls, nothing's going to change. When the dispatcher gets the call, she's going to dispatch it over the radio, and everybody out in scanner land is going to get to hear that information because we're going to put it out there immediately. The squad car is going to have the same map in real time that the dispatcher has, including if somebody's on a cell phone in a car and can't speak or was abducted or something crazy, and we'll be able to follow the thing down the map. We'll also have like I said, so if everybody's patrolling up north, maybe I should stay on the south end of town so we're, patrolling properly and that sort of thing. With the silent dispatch, about 90% of our calls that we handle aren't dire emergencies. There's calls after the fact. People wake up in the morning and say, my car was broke into, or I locked my keys in my car, or check the welfare on my neighbor. The newspapers are piling up. I'm concerned about that sort of thing. And up until last Thursday in Peru and elsewhere, almost everywhere across the police radio, the dispatcher has to tell the officer, go to John Smith's house. He lives at such and such address. He works nights. The home's empty, and he came home and he discovered something suspicious. So now bad private things are out there potentially for criminals, which we don't want to hear. The other thing is there's a lot of things on those 90%, those 18,000 calls that are private. They're things that are sensitive, that people really, we don't like when we have to do it. You have to tell the officer why he's going to check on that residence, why the newspapers are piled up and no one's seen any activity. But the call goes out, and then the next thing you know, it's all over social media and other type of things, half the information, it's not accurate. And sometimes it is accurate, and there's people hearing things on the scanner before family members are hearing certain things. And so we came up with this silent dispatch with the technology now as of last Thursday, and I'll be done in a minute. The dispatcher gets the call, and she types up like she's always done. John Smith calls in on the non-emergency line or 911. She types in the address. It populates to the map, and she types in John Smith. We had a case today where someone was concerned about a 90-year-old neighbor. They didn't think that maybe something was wrong. Maybe the person had passed away. Whatever. There was that type of a check the welfare concern. They typed up that narrative, and before last Thursday, the dispatcher would have to get on the radio and broadcast all of that information on the radio. Today, she got that call, and all she said was, car 1 from Peru, go ahead, case number 372, check the welfare. And he said, 10-4. And when he got to his first stop sign, he hit 372 on his map and read, I'm supposed to go see Joe Blow. His neighbor is, possibly something's up, and everything that we would have had to broadcast before. And so the officers got there and called, and all the only radio traffic was check the nursing homes and hospitals, check the hospitals, and we tracked down in that case, the guy was fine. But what wasn't broadcast is people's names, addresses, and all that kind of stuff. So 90% of our calls now will be able to go through this silent dispatch, and it's going to make the privacy so much better for people that otherwise a lot of things that would go out there that were accurate and sometimes not accurate won't be happening. And the other thing is it's going to make us more efficient because we're reducing the workload on some of the dispatchers. Maybe over time, if we get busier, we don't need to add personnel, or through attrition, you can then always look, well, do we need as much personnel, because their workload can be decreased. Because in the past, they had to type it, broadcast it. Now they just type it and say, case number such and such, end of story. And it's been working since last Thursday. Obviously, you can tell I'm excited about it, but I'm also proud because it's nice to be on the forefront. Technology is great. It's going to be an officer safety thing. We all know where all the officers are, so if they're not answering their radio at 3 in the morning, God forbid something happened to them, we can go find their car and hope they're okay and wake them up or whatever it takes. But at least we'll know where they're at. And then finally, the cost, because of a telephone call, we became the guinea pig between this particular GIS mapping company and our police company, and it was probably a 30th of what the cost would be for us because we were the guinea pigs. So I went a couple minutes longer, but I really do think when you've got a few minutes, you should stop down there and see it. The Big Brother thing's nice. If an alderman ever says, it gets a call, geez, I never see a police car on my street. I can give you a report just like that. We'll tell you how many cars have been there, when they were there, what direction they were traveling, how fast they were traveling, that sort of thing. So we did a report just for a 30-day period, just for the heck of it, when the AVL first went in, and we could only find 5 streets that a squad car hadn't patrolled on, which we thought was very good. We thought it was going to be significantly more, like they never get off the main roads and get into the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So there's a lot of great things, and the fire department obviously is going to use it in the ambulance, especially out in the rural calls. It's really helpful for them. So anyway, that's it.
Again, I'd like to invite it's something really nice. Mike saw it today, I saw it on Saturday. I spent an hour down there on Saturday, and I was there when the first day they got it fired up, and it's something to see, so I advise everybody to go down and see it.
You know, Chief, I have to commend you on this, because a lot of times we get so involved in things, we sort of don't see the forest for the trees, and you have a knack for going out and finding problems with things and finding solutions to it. You know, it's sort of, you have a knack for recognizing problems. In today's technology, you know, you need to find those problems. Those problems have to be found, and you seem to be able to recognize them. You know, necessity is the mother to invention, and we have the technology to take care of any problem. And all that stuff he's saying, what he's telling you is, he's singling out little problems that we've totally overlooked before, and he is addressing them, correcting them, and we're having a way more efficient police force, and we're very fortunate. Thank you, Chief.
I just want to know what Alderman Ferrari's going to do with all the time now that he has, when he's not sitting listening to his scanner.
Maybe me and Mr. Mueller will get together and go have coffee or something.
Okay, we'll move to Public Property Committee. Alderman Perez, Alderman Mueller.
Yes, Your Honor, I have the Peru Recreation Fund cash account summary for August 2013. Total funds available for August 2013 is $27,799.93. I'd like to make a motion we accept this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Perez, second by Alderman Mueller, to receive the Peru Recreation Fund cash account summary for August 2013, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, I have the Peru Public Library cash account summary for the period ending August 31st, 2013. Total funds available are $383,000.61. I'd like to make a motion that we accept this report and place it on file.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Perez, to receive the Peru Public Library cash account summary for August 2013, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, one last thing, I have a question regarding leaf pickup. Is there a chance that we could start a couple weeks earlier this year? Leaves are already starting to fall pretty good, and I think it'd be beneficial if there's a way we could work that out.
I'll have to report back after we get done with the fire hydrant flushing, because we found a couple problems this week, so, last night actually, so we're still working through that.
What's the actual start date? Would you happen to know, or?
For the fire hydrant flushing?
No, for the leaf pickup. When do we usually?
I think it's at the end of this month, beginning of next,
Okay.
so a couple more weeks, I think, is typically when we
Yeah,
start
all
that.
right. Yeah, if we could start any earlier, I think that would be beneficial. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, unfinished business. We have down to discuss the pool referendum resolution, as we've talked about before. We need to, if that's what we're going to do, we need to pass resolution by 12/31/2013. We need to provide it to the county clerk by January 9th, 2013, for it to be on the ballot March 18th, 2014. And that would be, it would be, we need to provide it to the clerk on January 9th, 2014. So if we're going to do that, we need to talk about it a little bit, because it's the last meeting of September and time's going by fairly quickly, and everybody has a schedule of bond payments in front of them. And the other thing that we made up today was, if you go back to the 0.5% sales tax that we did a couple of years ago, there was 4,496 cards sent out, and returned there was 1,932, or 43%. And the yes cards were 22%, 994, and the no cards were 19%, 868. In a March primary ballot, voter turnout's probably going to be 22%, I'm guessing. So that's one other thing to look at. But what does anybody have? For instance, if you have, and everybody will be provided this information that wants it. It's not all printed out right now. If you did a $2.5 million bond issue, that'd be a pool in a bathhouse. That would be fairly close, I think, from what I've heard from the pool committee. And it can be different. We have anywhere from a $2 million to a $2.5 million, and it can be $1.5 million, or it can be $3 million, whatever. But on the $2.5 million financed over 20 years, there's the value of a home, because, like we've said, we're revenue flat. We're a balanced budget, but we're revenue flat. It's going to take revenue to build something like this. So, for instance, if you have a $100,000 home, your tax would go up $54.39 a year. But we would have a pool and a bathhouse, and everybody would be back swimming again. So, what's everybody's thoughts on this? I think we need to move forward. We have to have a plan, whether we go with it or not, but we have to let somebody let us know what they want to do. My only thought on, if you did it by the cards, like the 0.5% sales tax, because a referendum would be purely advisory referendum. In the cards, that was purely advisory also. You would be able to put it on your levy, and you'd be able to start on your design phase. If it passed, you'd be able to start on your design phase and start a little bit earlier, because you'd have it on this year's tax levy already. You could, is what I'm saying. And everybody has this in front of them, a sample of the card that came out a couple years ago on the 0.5% sales tax, and more can be added, or some can be taken off, whatever. Once again, this is all available to anyone. It's just, it hasn't all been print out for the purposes as we sit here right now.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I support getting a pool. I'm not one to support any kind of a tax increase, whether it be a property tax or a utility fee. But I'm also in support of giving the people a voice and allowing them to go out and let us know what they would like to have us do. I would say that we should actually look for a plan B, though, instead of trying to fund a pool with a property tax. I know there's a lot of funds out there that we're needing to go for. I think we're going to be needing another $1.5 million at least, probably closer to $2 million. So I think we need to maybe consider doing the cards. I think that's a good way to go. I really don't think the majority of the people are going to support a property tax increase for a pool. But of course, I'm willing to hear what they have to say.
Well, everybody should know, all we're doing is asking, what do you want? What does the voter want? Or what does the $4,500 bills that go out every month, what do they want? They're also paying property tax, and that's what it's about. I don't know how else you're gonna come up with it.
Yeah, I don't quite understand. I think it's, if you want a swimming pool, you've got to find some way to finance it. So I don't really understand your thinking, Alderman Perez, by saying we want a swimming pool, but we don't want to finance it. So you really have to put that to the taxpayers is, are you willing to pay for it? You know, I don't think it's going to magically appear unless there's some system to pay for it.
And I believe there is a system. I
Well-
believe the system would be the same way we were going to look at a bike path. We were going to come up with, and that's pretty much the same thing, a want and a need. We were going to come up with, close to $300,000 next year to help fund that bike path. I believe just like in our homes. I mean, for example, actually, for instance, what I'll give you a family of 7. You know, they may want a pool, an in-ground pool for their house. They sit down and say, we really can't afford a pool. We can't go out and get a loan. It's not the fiscal responsible thing to do. So what do? So they all sit down, they get together, they look at their bills, see where they can cut, whether it's, you know, not going out to eat, saving $100 a month. They take that, put it in an envelope for the pool fund. They don't go out to the movies as much. They sit home and watch Netflix or watch TV, save money there, take the money from the entertainment fund, put $10 in there until they save it. I think we could actually look into our 2014 budget and look for things to cut back on and stick it into the pool fund.
What bike track were you referring to?
What's that?
What bike track were you referring to that
Bike
we're
path.
putting in?
The bike path, if we were going to do that.
We didn't,
We were
though.
going to be able to come up with that $300,000, though.
Well, it was
The
more like,
council didn't vote it.
But we would have been able to come up with
it was
We would've found a way.
250,000, and it was a
We would have
one-time.
been able to,
It was one time.
right. But we would have found a way to come up with some.
Over one time, once again,
I voted against it because I couldn't see a way to come up with it.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we would have found a way to come up with some money.
the question,
I don't agree with that. I don't think
I think you're missing, in my opinion, I think you're missing the question here. The question is, do we want to ask the voters if they want a pool, or do you want to just let the pool committee? They've been very good, they've worked very hard, and
Absolutely.
they deserve an answer.
Yeah.
And this, to me, is the way to give the pool committee an answer, and the city of Peru an answer, that we're going to have one or we're not, but it's their decision. The decision isn't, there's no more to cut out of the budget.
Your Honor, I believe there is.
No, there's not. Not when you're looking at $221,000 on a $2.5 million pool over 20 years. You're looking at a payback of $221,000 plus $250,000 for operating expense
I believe there are
thereabouts.
some adjustments that we could look into making, though.
You're not going to come up with that $500,000. You're not going to come up with it.
If the referendum comes back as a no and the people aren't going to have pay for a property tax or have it included in their property tax, then what are we going to do? We can't just tell the pool committee no. We got to come up with
Then
another way to
it's
fund.
then it's done.
We
You
can't-
you have to bring it to an ultimatum sooner or later. Then it'll be done.
I don't agree to that.
I can't see any way that people in Peru are going to support a property tax.
Well, we don't know. Why don't?
I can't see any way that they're going to do that.
All I'm saying.
I just think,
That-
I don't know why I need a referendum.
Put the question out there.
I'd say let's go with the cards.
Yeah, I would support that too. You'll hit a lot more people that way.
I think.
I just think I don't need a referendum to prove something that I'm pretty sure I already know, which is that people aren't going to support a property tax increase for a pool. I don't see why we need a referendum to prove.
Well, then how, you know, first of all, I want to thank the pool committee. They've been going for years and making $100 here, $100, but we're not getting it done. Debbie's worked hard trying to find bonds, grants, and they're not there. Let's do this, and this'll tell us whether the people want a pool or not. If they're willing to pay for it, let's build it. But let's not just sit back here and keep making $100 a year. It's not going to pay for it. And no, we don't have the money right now to do it.
Your Honor, the idea of the cards, I'm concerned about the security of it as far as who turns in the cards. First of all, it goes out on a utility bill. A lot of those people that get the cards don't pay property tax in the city. And also, who's actually going to turn it in? It's loose laying around. Whereas a vote, an actual vote on a ballot, I can consider that as a valid interpretation of the wants of the city.
That's the decision that needs to be made by the council. You know, so far we have two different, so, you know, we still have 6 more people, and we're gonna...
I would support, Your Honor, going out on a referendum. I think that's the way to find out if the people want it or not.
However the council wants to reach out to the people, I'm fine with. That was just my recommendation to go with the cards, but if there's a referendum, I'll be in support of it. Just got to reach out to them either way, but I think that'd be the best way.
Well, do we want to move forward and have the city attorney draw up a resolution?
Actually, could we hear from the pool committee on that? I think with the...
You can, yes, Deb, you'll have to come up here.
Should this, Your Honor?
What? Well, we can...
Not be under public comment?
We can, we're in the middle of this discussion, so we can do that.
You know, and the option is, I think the option you're bringing to the taxpayers and the registered voters is, do you want to pay for it now? There may be other ways to get a swimming pool. It may come through a private donation. It may come through a public grant. But at least this is an option right now for people to look at and say, do you want a pool immediately, and are you willing to pay for it?
We, the Friends of Peru Pool, do not support a tax referendum to fund a new pool. It isn't necessary. Peru has $15 million yearly budgeted. $15 million of operating expenses for a swimming pool, according to Mayor Harrell, would be $90,000 a year, less than 1% of the total budget. Money for a pool was budgeted for 83 years. The pool has been closed for 3 years. That's $270,000. Where did it go?
Proceed.
Mayor Harrell stated that a referendum will let everyone know that a swimming pool is wanted. If it gets defeated, he said the people have spoken. End of issue. We consider this to be a blatant attempt to undermine the committee's considerable support by the committee by threatening people with a tax increase. We can't afford any more taxes. On September 9th, 2012, News Tribune had a report of a survey that had been done in Peru. 46% said we should have a new pool, 30% said to repair the old one, and 24% didn't care. As we see it, 76% were in favor of a pool. We've been trying for 3 years to raise a new pool. Our community, both by people and many businesses, are behind us. They've been great, both the sponsors and the volunteers. Yet Mayor Harrell has refused to put his name on any grant request we've submitted. We the people, we the Friends for Peru Pool, are not going away. We will continue to work for something we feel our children and their children, the future families in Peru, should have. We appreciate the City Council and the Mayor's help. Thank you.
Okay. What do we want to do? Do we want to... I'm hearing from most that we want to put it out to referendum, so do we want to authorize city attorney on our next council meeting to draw up a resolution so that we can have it on a referendum? Like to what?
I would like to see it.
Anybody else? I mean, it'll be on the, if we have enough people that say that they want to see it, but it's not an official vote because we can't take action on it, but it'll be on the agenda next meeting.
I
And we'll
think
authorize
it's
the
important
attorney.
as elected officials, Your Honor, that the public get some input if they would like taxpayer dollars to go towards a swimming pool. And so certainly I support at least their voice to be heard on that issue.
Anybody else?
Your Honor, a few minutes ago, I think it was you, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but mentioned something about this would be to get it done in a hurry, but if there were still things out there that we could look at that. Could you expound on that a little?
I think I was the one who mentioned that.
I'm sorry.
Alderman Sapienza. What I meant was if the public, the general public, did vote for it, that would be a project that could be worked on in the short-term future, meaning immediately. If it was something that the public did not feel that it was tax-worthy for, then it's something that we can look at it, at least my opinion is to look at it at a long-range issue, and that could be grants or private donations or anything in the amount of that. So it's a difference between short-term, immediate, and long-term planning. I think everybody would love to have a public outdoor pool if it's not paid for them by themselves. And at least we have an option to say if this is a long-term or a short-term project.
Does anybody know if there have been or are now any grants available?
It's highly unlikely.
And these grants are for a pool with a roof over it, right, that can be used?
Well,
That's not the information that I've received in the research I've done.
I haven't seen that either, but you're welcome to bring it in, Deb. The question is, the question is, you need to bring that in, or you need to hire a grant writer and write it. One of the two, but the question is, what do we want to do?
Right, it would have.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I don't know of any grants out there, but I haven't been researching grants. When you see the federal government cutting food stamps and it's going down to the state government and it's all going to end up on our shoulders in here, there's going to be many decisions in here. There's going to be many decisions in here that are going to come to the municipal level, and they're going to be sooner than later with what's going on in Washington and what's going to happen in Springfield after Washington. So we'll put it on the agenda next week to authorize city attorney to drop a resolution for a referendum, so we can pass that or vote it up or vote it down.
Just so I'm clear on it, if the referendum goes through and it fails, does that mean the council is considering it to be killed, or can they continue going forward with the fundraising?
The pool committee can continue to go forward with fundraising. Absolutely.
But as far as support from the city goes, is giving any kind of contributions, will we still continue doing that?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, contributions?
If they need our support and they need any kind of, financial assistance from the council, whether it be, $500 for something they want to do, or $10,000 if they want a donation. I don't believe we've ever given them a donation, a monetary donation.
We can look at it. Okay, make sure that's on the agenda next week. Now you have something to discuss, Clerk Bartley, on new business on meeting dates.
Well, we're getting to work on the city calendar. So in addition to discussing meeting dates, just anything, if you guys want to look at your city calendar, obviously any resident out there that has a city calendar that's looked through it. When we updated the website this year, we tried to tie things to the calendar on the website. So we're going to try to get more interactive with that this year. So anybody that has any suggestion, anything they want placed on that calendar, we'll be obviously updating the garbage rules with our new company, our yard waste rules, which are out of date on the calendar. But in addition to that, we have to set our meeting dates here at the end of the year for the next calendar year. And
I've brought it up on numerous occasions that I think it's ridiculous that we have as many meetings as we do. I think we ought to have 2 meetings a month.
well, we could the minimum we could change to is 26. So we have 26 pay periods. So we have 26 disbursement occasions where we have to have a regular meeting to approve the disbursements, like this evening's meeting. So whether or not that's something that you guys are interested in, going from the 3 a month to the 2 a month, obviously it's within the council's jurisdiction to call a special meeting at any time, as long as we have a proper notice published and put on our website and on our bulletin board. If we had to act on an issue sooner, so far, since we've gone to 3 meetings, I don't think we've had any occasions where we were really in a bind to get something done and we had to wait a lengthy period of time between meetings in order to act on something. And I know when the Open Meetings Act changed and we made all the meetings regular meetings, because we did have, the Wednesdays were considered informal and casual. They didn't have a detailed agenda prior to the Open Meetings Act. And then when they went to the Open Meetings Act, we made all the Wednesday meetings regular so that we'd have an opportunity to act on business every single week. And, you know, it was beneficial from time to time. We found here lately that we haven't been challenged by needing to act on things on the Wednesday meeting all the time.
Which,
So,
like you said, we could always call a special meeting.
if we needed to get something moved up on the, you know, like this particular case, tonight's meeting, our next one is 2 weeks. If something came up in Public Works, public property, where we needed to act on something, we just call a meeting for next Monday or next Wednesday and take action. So we're in a time where we like to get the calendars done and we like to get them ready to go for the residents by Thanksgiving. And we're already get requests in the clerk's office to know if we have the new calendar already. You know, in the last couple of weeks, people are already asking for it. It's a great stocking stuffer for the holidays.
I did have a question for new business. Jim, I don't know if you could get the council an update, but something from the IMEA. If you notice, again, the Obama administration has put down coal-burning plants under fire, again threatening taxes, and this is again coming up in their work schedule for the upcoming year. What will be the implication for us residents and both us as a city? Because naturally, the majority of our power that we purchase comes from the coal-fired plants.
That was discussed at the annual meeting. The latest thing that's been brought up in Washington, I don't think is going to pass. You know what I'm saying? If they do that, we had representatives from Prairie State and the Tennessee,
to Trimble.
County, and they both stated what they want them to drop in the emissions. It was like, right now, they're the 2 best coal-burning plants basically in the world as far as clean emissions. And right now, if I remember right,
I believe it was 18 or 2,000 microns to 1,000 or less. And
they just said it's not possible. So I think they're asking for the world, and I don't think it's going to happen.
But what is the implication if they enact that law?
Blackouts, basically. There won't be enough electricity on the grid, because if that was implemented, you're not going to be able to build natural gas-fired units or nuclear units in time to replace what they would be losing. We're already losing 5 in Illinois, 5 coal-burning plants, and you're not going to be able to replace it. So, don't know what's going to happen. We don't think it's going to go the way it's been proposed, but if it did, price of electricity is going to go up. There's nothing else I can say, because it's going to be at a higher, just like in September when the temperature went to 95 degrees, it was selling for $1,800 a kilowatt hour, which is normally selling for, what, 5? You know, it's what it is. Supply and demand runs the world.
Yeah, another thing they touched on, with the coal burners that are going to shut down now, by 2016, without any growth, okay, there's going to be a major shortage of electricity, you know, if they move forward and shut down these plants.
Well, the PJ...
How does that apply to us, though? We're in much better shape, I would say, with the ability to have these clean coal-fired or clean emissions than somebody who's maybe by ComEd or something of that nature. But
Yeah, like I say, we're supposed to have two of the best in the world. It's just that it's not as good as they want it. So it's hard to say what could happen there.
It's probably about par for the course that the government, EPA, has now determined that the gas I exhale is toxic and has to be controlled. That really sounds about right, so.
You've been accused of that.
Anything else under new business? Proclamations,
Nothing, Your Honor.
petitions, communications,
None, Your Honor.
public comment. Do we have any public comment? Could you please come up here, Gina?
My question is, are you going to put the email addresses on the back of the calendars that you're going to have for listing the city, like the meetings and where we can contact you?
Well,
Because they're not now, but you said you wanted to hear from
Yeah,
them.
that's a great idea. I thought the email addresses were on there. I know the department phone numbers are, but I can certainly
Yeah,
do
the
that.
department numbers are.
And the emails are all on the website, just by clicking on the Ask
Well,
Your
the
City Official.
website is what I'm looking for, because I'm not computer intelligent in a sense.
No, well,
I can do what I can do basics, but
I'll double check to make sure, to ensure that the email addresses are on the
okay.
new calendar.
Thank you.
Dave, if we have the website on there and nice bold things, all that information is there.
Well, there's
Once you get-
still lots of residents that calendar is their city reference point all year round. They look at it for their recycling days, they look at it for the meeting days, garbage rules, how to contact, and that's, for many residents, that's their annual city reference guide, so they try to be
It
as
is
complete
at our
as...
house too. But if the email or the website is on there, all you got to do is go to that website
Well-
and you can just click on everybody and get to them.
Last year, the website was the feature page of the entire calendar, so we'll keep that focus to try to drive residents towards the website for more info.
Deb?
Just wanted to let everybody know that Friendswood Brew Pool will be in the December issue of Illinois Valley magazine. We've done an article with the editor, and he's going to follow up with us next month. And if anybody has any old pictures of Brew Pool, could they please forward them either to Dave, to me? We would appreciate them. You'll get them back. They'll be in this article. He wants pictures of the old pool. Thank you very much.
Deb, what kind of a balance do you have in your account now, in the fundraising account?
Talking to the wrong person about numbers. Do you know, Claudia?
Okay.
100,000, and then we got some put in a timeshare too, like from Concert for a Cause and ECAS and some other things too.
They're in the
It's not
CDs.
timeshare,
CDs.
CD.
Yeah. Timeshare things. Yeah.
Thank you, Deb.
Any other public comment? Okay, I need to ask for a motion to retire from open meeting into closed session. We need to discuss litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of a particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting, and meetings held to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body. Complaint lodged against an employee or legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. So do I have a motion to retire and go into closed session?
So moved.
Second that, Your
Have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Sapienza. Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Okay, we'll retire into closed session.
Hello. You walking? Really? Do what? What do we have? Chicken? Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. I can't. Once you're married, I'll pay. Yeah. Oh. That's our $190, and then a $250,000 operating.